Our next speaker, Dylan McHone, brought the whole crew again, which is nice. Today, Dylan will be speaking out of the Competent Communication Manual, project number 5. And he's going to tell us about his own input on what it is like to be a twin. Dylan.
All right. Fellow Toastmasters and welcome guests. People always ask me, what is it like to be a twin? And I never truly know how to answer this question, because for me, my brother Cody, he was always existing. He was always there. So he was always the normal for me. So I never really knew how to answer it. And I kind of always assumed that for everyone, that's how it was for them. They had their own Cody to be there for them. But I began to look deeper into this question and I began to think, what has my life consisted of so far that might be different than someone else's because of my relationship with my brother? So over the past week, I decided to put together a couple pros and a couple cons of what it's like to be a twin. Of course, there's benefits to being a twin. My favorite benefit out of all of those would be the benefit of companionship. You see, I've never truly had that feeling of what it's like to be alone, because whether I'm playing sports, hanging out, or simply going to school, I always have my brother there to hang out with me and spend time with me. And I begin to realize that with each new experience that we face, we're experiencing life together. And whether I'm making the right decisions or I'm making the wrong ones, you can always count on him to be right by my side. Another big benefit of having a twin is our understanding of each other. And I like to call this one our twin instinct. You see, I know me and my brother know each other better than our own right hands. And yeah, we fight, we argue, and we have our disagreements. But at the end of the day, we always come to an understanding, an agreement with each other. Although one time I remember my brother decided to take a can of hairspray and a lighter, and he said, "What can we light on fire?" Personally, I disagreed with him on this one. And I declined his invitation to participate. But Cody being Cody, I knew how it was going to end. Well, he went along and did it. And it ended exactly how I knew it would end. It ended up with him being grounded and me being grounded because I didn't tell him not to do it. And the last pro, or another pro of being a twin, is the attention that you receive. And this can also be a con, but I mainly see it as a pro. You see, people see being a twin as being unique. So, usually when me and my brother are walking side by side, I usually notice sudden glances and stares, and I know what people are thinking. They're thinking, are they twins? Some people will even go as far as to come up to us and ask, "Hey, are you guys a twin? Or are you guys related?" And I see this as a pro because it allows me to meet new people, and it's a great conversation starter. It's something easy for me to talk about, and for me to communicate with people about. And then the last big important pro of being a twin would probably be the bond that my brother and I share. I feel like me and my brother are inseparable, and mainly because of the things that I mentioned, such as companionship and just our understanding of each other. But it's even the small things, like I feel like I could tell my brother anything, and he'd be able to give me an honest and open opinion about it. And I think that's a very healthy thing to have in an open relationship with my brother. Now, these are all great things that come with being a twin. But like most great things, there's also irritating things and annoying things that come with a twin. Being a twin. For me, one irritating thing about being a twin is the mistaken identity. Many people, as a twin, and especially as an identical twin, you're mistaken for your sibling all the time. All the time. And I've been called Cody so much that I decided that I'll just go by 2 names. I'll go by Dylan, and I'll go by Cody. And usually when someone calls out Cody, and Cody's not with me, I'll turn my head and respond. I know they're trying to get my attention, but I also know that they don't know that I'm not Cody. Another con of being a twin would be the blame game, and one I'm most familiar with. You see, in our household, when something goes wrong or something bad happens, there's always someone to blame. And for my parents, there's always a 50-50% chance of knowing it most. And out of that 50-50% chance, there's always a 100% chance that we're both going down with the ship. I remember one time, back in elementary school, a few years ago, my brother, he thought it would be a good idea to take a soda bottle and put it under the wheel of a school bus. Now, this bus had just dropped us off, and we were going home. And again, I decided not to participate, because I didn't want to be a part of that. Well, Cody being Cody, he decided to go ahead and do it. And as it unfolded, everything he thought would happen happened. The bus took off, the bottle exploded, it made a loud bang, and pieces went everywhere. Well, you could just tell how scared the bus driver was, how quick the bus just came to a stop. And, well, it turns out, later that day, someone had ratted my brother out. Someone had said it was Cody. But what beats me is the next day after that, I'm sitting in the principal's office right next to him. Why? I don't know why. I just always assume that there's this mentality that, well, twins are one and the same. If one's guilty, the other's probably guilty too. And the last con of being a twin would probably be the struggle for individuality. You see, me and my brother do share a lot of the same experiences and same friends and same interests. But I like to separate myself from him every now and then. I like to have my own interests, my own likes, whether it be a sport or a game, or even knowing different people that he might not know. I can still be a twin, but I like to be my own individual person. And this is something that I've dealt with mainly growing up. I remember many times my parents would buy us stuff like Gatorades or Powerades. And they'd buy us the same color and the same flavor. And when they did that, it just really irritated me, annoyed me. Because I wanted my own color. I wanted my own flavor. I wanted it to be different than Cody's because I'm my own different person. But as I mentioned before, that was something growing up. And now I'm older, and now I'm developed more into my own person, and I have a lot more differences than Cody, which I'm thankful for. Overall, these are a couple things that I would sum up of what it's like to be a twin. And so that way when people ask me, well, what's it like to be a twin? But now that I think about it, no one can truly know what it's like to be a twin unless you're a twin, because only a twin would know what it's like to be a twin. And for me, I love being a twin. I love having someone always there to hang out with. I love my brother, and I love having always someone to spend time with. And for me, I wouldn't trade being a twin for anything. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, too, to Dylan. What a great speech, isn't it? Whoever's on the clickers. Dylan's just a great example of what you can get out of Toastmasters. Having watched Dylan do his first speech and watching him till now, what an amazing change. It was a great job. I really enjoyed that speech. That was a lot of fun. And it was a lot of fun because there were so many good things to pick on. Right in the beginning, you took advantage of having an introduction. And that's good. I mean, I love you guys out there, but you don't transition that fast. So a little prompt, having the Toastmaster introduce the speech, just allows the audience to start transitioning. Mac's speech was great. They're thinking about that. Just gets the brain moving over, beginning to think about the next topic. So that's really good. And you tied it in with an excellent hook. Ever wonder what it's like to be a twin? Yeah, that's a good question. And then you followed it up with kind of a surprise. At least it was for me. I've never thought about that. It's just always the way it was. And that gets people's attention. And you demonstrated you were qualified to talk about what you're going to talk about. So now you've really got my attention, because now that's a whole perspective I never thought about. So you had this great introduction. You went into the body, and you kind of came back and you picked on a few of those points and reinforced them. And I like that. You did it with humor. I really enjoyed the lighter and the spray can. I think we all did that. And I went to boarding school. I did that heaps. Then you transitioned on. You had another humor story in there about the soda bottle. And those are great. They connect in. We can kind of translate to that. And you use them to tie back in again to the way you laid out that beginning. Because you linked it back to what it's like to be a twin. And you linked it back to the fact that when you used the story about 100% of the time were going down. So use that humor to tie back in that structure. So those are things that I thought were excellent. From a body movement, had a hand movement where you would go right to left, alternating and then going back in the middle. So I think there's an opportunity there for you with your hands to use your hands to emphasize and try not to come back to a central position. You're closing yourself off, opening up, closing off, opening up. So I think that's an opportunity there. The one hand movement I really did like was when you were talking about being an individual and you used your hands to physically show that separation. I thought that was excellent. I really liked that. Some other body use of the body that I liked was your affection for your brother was coming across in the way you were smiling, in your eyes, and you were connecting with the audience with your eye movements. That the story felt personal. It felt like you were talking to each of us, the way you were looking. That was really well done. If I were to be persnickety, I would say try and exaggerate some of the movements. When you talk about the hairspray, spray, John. We'll get his attention. We'll get the audience's attention. You can exaggerate a lot more than you think up here, and it doesn't look silly. It looks good. Look forward to many more. It was a great speech. Thank you.